Hey everybody, it's Gabriel with Automation Anywhere. We're back in the Imagine studio with my friend, with the indomitable Mariesa Coughanour from Cognizant. Mariesa, how are you?
I am fabulous, and thank you for having me here today.
Mariesa, let's jump right in. Clearly we're in the age of AI. A number of announcements, groundbreaking announcements at this year's Imagine. But I want to circle back, because last year you joined me in the studio and we talk a lot. Over the course of the last year leading up to this event, what's changed?
So what has been really exciting is just the pace. So when we started on the automation journey, people were excited, but it took some time to get your feet under you, to make some movement, some traction. With what's going on with AI and Gen AI, we're just seeing that accelerated at least tenfold. The conversations, but not just that, it's about how we're deploying it and we're making it a reality with our clients, because they're taking it that next step further. They're thinking about how do they drive more outcomes and actions, how do they couple it with automation to be able to also drive more insights. And I think the other really exciting part is that we're seeing this embrace from the employee base that took a little longer with automation, right? Because it was something they had to learn and understand. But the way that AI and Gen AI has come out in the last 18 months, it's about how do you get this in the hands of people, they're using it, they're in their day-to-day lives, and with that, they're bringing it into organizations, and you're just seeing this accelerated embrace of this technology.
And talk to me what that means in the form of impact, because I think, to your point, previously more traditional automation, it's sort of at a task level.
Yep.
Clearly, it benefited the company and largely the people, but it was more sort of specific, I would say.
Yes.
But now, with what's possible, we talk about the art of the possible. The art of the possible is, monumental at this point, right? And the usability and having a platform and a system like our AI and automation system, I think makes it easier to put AI to work for you as an individual and feel like it's working for you too.
It does.
Right?
I think it's on multiple levels. So I think one, the individual is craving the ability to be able to drive some impact, improve how their day-to-day work is going. And honestly, a lot of people, they want to know that they drove value for the organization they're a part of and for those customers that company is serving. So I think that's really powerful. We have seen just this pace with clients where thousands of people are embracing, getting trained, they're building solutions themselves, which is really exciting. I think the other piece is how organizations could go past that task piece of it though, and now connect the dots. So now you see impact not just for team, but these end-to-end ways of thinking of solutions. I'm going to give you one example that's really exciting that I've seen that combines this automation, AI piece of it. So we have a learning development team that we're working with a client, and they have to go out and they have to source to be able to do different language translations, right? Because they have to have Spanish or Mandarin or whatever the language is for their teams and maybe even clients. That takes a lot of effort. It may take some local knowledge. There are some tools, outsourcing. They actually used some automation technology and AI to be able to create their own translations. And that is making it faster, it's easier. Now also those teams get quicker impact when new content is being created. And that's something that's really powerful because that would have taken a lot more time, money, and effort. And I think that's what's going to be very powerful about automation and AI. It is going to take some work to get some of it in place. We know some processes get complex. We know data needs to get improved still. But we're still seeing outcomes today that are extremely impactful. And I think they're going to really probably change how people do their day-to-day jobs in a way that maybe we talked about a few years ago, but this is becoming an actual reality now.
I think that seems to be the theme to me this year too. Like for the last year now, people have been using our platform to put AI to work in real business situations, real workflows. I love this idea of your example of the L&D, the learning and development. We also did a similar thing with a bunch of our training. And this is one of my first use cases I collaborated with our L&D leader on, who does localization. It's like, wait a minute, we can take the transcripts, do all the things that you mentioned, still have a human in the loop because of our co-pilot. So we have this whole system that's end to end. We got the right touch points, so we've got the governance, we've got the human in the loop verifying and validating. But the thing so there's all of those technical aspects, which are great, and there's the bottom line impact to your point. It's costly, it takes a lot of time. But the thing I love about it most is being able to reach those people that want to learn.
Yes.
Or perhaps need to learn. This idea of empowering them with with knowing how to, in our case, use our AI and automation system, and being able to reach them and meet them where they are in their language.
Yes.
I love everything about that.
Me too. And I think in general, the meet them where they are concept has just been something I've been very passionate about, because it's very easy to come in and show visions or roadmaps, but it's really about where are you today and where do you want to go tomorrow? And I think that's very powerful. And to your point, meeting somewhere they're at with their language, that's important. And I think also on this journey, if you think about, to me, I just have this hope and vision that we can make the way people have to do work every day that much better. And that's the thing that always gets me going, is when I see a client or I see a team or even some individuals start to get it. And then you see them being able to just apply this technology. And they actually say, like, my job's improved. I have joy at work. I mean, how often do people actually get to say that and mean it? And I think that's really powerful. And it doesn't mean everyone in the future is going to be building AI solutions, but I do think every single person can and should be a part of this journey. And the companies that embrace that mentality and empower their people, I think they're the ones that are going to set the tone for the future.
I agree with you 100%. And I've got some AI-powered automations and workflows and a bunch of agents working in unison to accomplish specific, really functional outputs, right? Touching multiple systems and all these things. But I'm a little bit of a geek. Like, I'm not a technologist, but I know enough, and I've been able to help engineer some of these things, and it's super fun for me. However, across my company, not everybody has the time to go into and sort of do all the things or what have you. So with Automation Copilot, we have it embedded in Teams, because we use Teams within the company. They basically click a button and say, and now with Q, you can say, hey, write me a blog for a CIO on this topic. And so it'll get them like 60 or 80% to where they want to be, probably 80% because it writes really well. Mm-hmm. And then they get the opportunity to then go and make it their own, right? So they can now expedite and again, reach out to people and communicate to people. I'm not saying copy and paste, like I don't sort of necessarily condone that, but using this as an assistant to help you write is and then having just the ability to sort of click a button or just simply use the voice prompt. It's amazing, right? Because now people don't have to like sort of figure out where the buttons are to click and to get the thing you want. So
I think the thing that's so beautiful about it too is that you're giving time to actually be more creative, put that creative thinking process in, because I think so much of our day is tied up in processes that we accept that we have to do. We have to do this approval process, we have to sit and write this blog, and it is part of our jobs today. But I always have thought about, most people didn't go to school to do some of this either. And that's not what they were excited or passionate about when they took the job. They do what they have to do, right? Because that is part of it. But if you're able to use automation and AI to be able to get rid of some of that work, that time taken to do the initial draft, the time taken to do L&D training, or even go through, think of like an employee survey. Having the time to actually digest the data and actually drive real action back for your employees versus the time it takes to consolidate data, send it out to a vendor, bring it, all those examples, like to me, that's where we're gonna see a real shift. And it's gonna be a positive one, and it's not gonna be one we just talk about on PowerPoint slides or see in a report. You're gonna feel it day to day.
From a culture perspective, what are you seeing, what are some of the things you're seeing that you would say, hey, these guys are doing it really well in terms of adopting and starting to build a culture around the technology versus just sort of implementing a fix? Give us some pro tips, give us some recommendations for the audience.
Absolutely. So at Cognizant, we work end to end with our clients. But I think one of the big things that we really do focus on is what we were talking about earlier. First, how do we meet them where they're at? And then how do we help them down that journey? And culture is a massive point that we have to help on. And I think two things I would share on that. One is we're leading by example. We're actually deploying a lot of this technology. We've launched massive Copilot trainings. We are doing studies to understand which types of jobs have the most opportunities attached to them. And then we're actually doing it ourselves just so we could come back to our clients and have those conversations in a way that says, look, we're not just coming from a place of, in theory, we've seen it, we've done it, let us help you do it, and even learn from how our learning process went through, and maybe avoid maybe some of our own life lessons we're probably going to feel along this journey. And I think the second one is where clients are really getting it right are the ones that sit down, and this may sound a little familiar to be fair, but they're thinking, okay, yes, there's this technology, but how do I bring the business and technology together? How do I make the time for the change cycle that needs to happen? How do I get these tools in the hands of the employee base? And again, it doesn't mean everyone's building. You can put controls, because I know some people get a little nervous about it, but there's a lot that should be yes. Go do this, be empowered to do this. And I think that's the companies they're seeing exponential results. The pace. I have one client, they have over a quarter of their employee base that are trained on these tools, and they're constantly upskilling because they're seeing now the power of AI. Now they're adding as they get agents. This is becoming more and more pervasive across their organization. And I think that's what's exciting, because they're seeing results that they could take to the bank. They're seeing improved employee scores at work. They truly are having a joy at work, which is extremely exciting to see. And I have to tell you, I went out on site and I don't know, I felt inspired just watching them and seeing what the power is when you actually take the time to go out and train your employees. And it is different. A lot of us say it, we'll have them do a workshop. But when you take the time to really empower, I'm telling you, the results are they're amazing to watch. You're going to get a little bit of goosebumps if you go out and actually see it in action.
It's not just a hashtag future of work. It really is the future of work in action. And it's happening today.
It is happening.
And I think with the AI and automation system, you have that comfort at minimum. It's more than comfort, but you have the ability to do these things, to build the culture, because you've got the governance, you've got the guardrails, you've got the open platform to be able to leverage your models, to be able to leverage our process models, so you have the intelligence to quickly build and deploy, test, and dial these things in, which then gives you that time to build that culture and train and upskill, right?
And the piece of it too, and I think this is true regardless of industry, regardless of what your products are, and even more so in my role because we're consultants, but I truly believe the people in every organization are the most valuable assets. And so many of them want to be just unleashed to go do what they know is the right thing. They know how to fix this stuff. They know how to make it better, and they know how to help their fellow colleagues. So why don't we take advantage of what we have now in this technology to go and make that actually happen for them?
Unleash our customers, unleash the individuals, the people, to soar and reach new heights. And it's actually not just talk, it's actually possible.
It is, and I've seen it.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing your insights. As always, such a joy to see you again.
Thank you so much, Gabe, and thank you to Automation Anywhere for having me.
Thank you.